I know, but we can a little talk on the front
Okay.
end so that we're not talking over them. Good evening and welcome to CTN's coverage of gymnastics. Coon Rapids Cardinals here visiting the Anoka Tornadoes at Sandburg Education Center. Jeremy Smith with you here tonight. And not here alone.
Yep, my name is Heather Laszlo.
No. I am not a gymnast myself, never was, so we brought in an expert, someone who's actually done some gymnastics before to help me out tonight. So with our meet here at the Sandburg Education Center, there's actually two separate gyms with the equipment set up in those. So we'll start here in gym number 1 where they have the vault and the beam. So first we'll be seeing the Tornadoes vault, followed by Coon Rapids on the beam. And then flip-flop that. And we'll get the Tornado beam and the Cardinals vault. So starting off with the vault here. In a short time, they're in warm-ups right now, so getting ready to kick this one off.
Vault is always a nice event to start with because it's really quick and it gets the nerves out. It's a great way to open the season.
So each vaulter gets how many runs? Is it 2 or 3?
They get 2 attempts.
2 attempts?
Yep.
We'll introduce them as they're coming up here. Looks like Tornadoes have 3 all-rounders here, so 3 of their participants we'll see across all 4 rotations tonight. Later on, when we move over to Gym 2, the order there, we'll see the Coon Rapids floor, the Tornadoes bars, Cardinals bars, and we'll round it out with the Tornadoes floor exercise. I was talking to you before we started here, and you mentioned that bars was your favorite back when you were in gymnastics?
Yep, it was. Usually there's 2 different kinds of gymnasts, either a power gymnast or a more artistic gymnast. So they're either more into the balance and the dance or more into the power, and I definitely enjoyed the power a lot. Bars and vault were 2 fun ones for me.
So the bars and vault kind of generally
it's
gravitate together, and floor and beam are kind of their own.
Correct, yep.
And then, as we said earlier, we do have some athletes who will be doing all of them.
Yeah, it looks like we have 3 all-around varsities for both teams, actually.
All right. Now, I know the vault itself adjusts to several different heights there. What's the highest it goes?
You know, I'm not sure how high it goes, but it is super important that it's adjusted to the correct size for the correct person. I mean, imagine running full force towards something and it's significantly farther away than you expected it to be. That could be really bad.
And so that's going to vary based on the vault that they're doing as well as the athlete?
Yep, definitely. Especially depending on if you're coming at it from forwards as opposed to backwards. That's going to change a lot of things.
Looks like we've got all our staff on hand here. Now the scoring is facing away from us here in the gym, but we can get some updates as it goes.
So it looks like Emily Rice just finished her 2nd vault.
Our first vaulter for the Tornadoes there. So looks like Kaylee O'Mara, one of our all-rounders, will be up next for the Anoka Tornadoes. And there's the distance of that springboard as well as the height on the vault. Lots of variables.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that something as a vaulter your coaches work with you to kind of set what kind of vaults you're going to try, things like that? Or is that more of a...
Yeah, it's definitely a comfort thing. Usually a gymnast knows pretty quickly if it's going to work or not work. One way that we do check is you can just run up, hop, and just jump right up like 2 feet onto the vault. And usually that's a pretty good gauge as to how much you can actually travel.
And a lot of these coaches obviously have some experience too, and there's a
definitely
good range to, instead of just eyeballing it every time for luck, right?
Yeah, no, so each gymnast will have their measurements written down, and it'll be exact for each person.
You get that repetition.
It's like we had a half-on, full-off vault from Kaylee O'Mara, who is a new athlete this year with this team.
And we'll see her across all 4 events tonight. Looks like an 8 and an 8-1. On that vault from her. I believe that was 2 from her.
I think that was her second
That
one.
was her second there. We'll step at the end.
It's like she ended on a half on, half off.
Now at this level, what's the kind of degree of difficulty that you're going to see most of the time?
So in gymnastics, skills are broken into like level A, level B, level C. On varsity, we'll see a decent amount of C skills tonight. A good mix of C and B, I would say.
Looks like Alyssa Brendel is our next vaulter.
She did a very nice half on full off.
So as far as the scoring goes, you've got 2 judges at each event, obviously, and then those 2 scores are averaged.
Yep. So then they'll average the 2 between the 2 judges for each one, and then between the 2 vaults, whichever vault has the better score is the one they take.
And that all contributes to that team score as well. So the judges are conferring a little bit there on that last score. It's like an 8.75 and an 8.6.
It's a great score.
That's your standard out of 10
Yep.
scoring.
Well, I don't know for sure if it's out of 10. With high school gymnastics, they don't always necessarily have a 10-0 start value, but I would assume hers probably was. We just saw a Souk vault from Alyssa, or
I think we're on Alyssa Brendel.
Alyssa Brennel. Okay.
A lot of extra momentum there towards the end. And is it tough as you've got all that forward momentum and you have to translate that into a full stop when you hit the ground?
Yep,
so.
It can be very hard to get that timing exact. But definitely for skills as difficult as this one, it's better to have more power than not enough.
You don't want to go halfway around.
Exactly. I'd rather fall on my butt than my head. Oh, that was beautiful.
Made the adjustments after the first vault that she needed to there.
Absolutely. It's an almost stuck landing.
I think we'll probably see some 9s on this one. There we go, 9-1.
So far, that is our highest score of the night for vault.
All right, looks like they're adjusting for our next vaulter here. Like you mentioned, getting vault out of the way, getting those nerves out. It's a quick event. It's not something, you don't have as long as a routine as like the floor or the beam, right?
Right, exactly. Actually, starting on beam is really hard because you're nervous, and it's such a small platform that the littlest bit of nerves make a big difference there, where on vault it's really quick and it's just power, so it kind of helps having nerves on that event almost.
So you think the ideal order is vault first?
Absolutely.
And the worst order is beam first?
Absolutely,
okay.
Yeah. And I think it's fun to end floor at the end because everyone loves watching the floor routines.
Well. All right, I think actually our timing may have been a little bit off there. I think the Tornadoes are done with their vault already. So we may have misidentified a vaulter or two, but we are going to step away, take a little break. When we come back, we will have varsity beam for the Coon Rapids Cardinals. Welcome back to CTN's gymnastics coverage from Sandburg Education Center in Anoka, Minnesota. Coon Rapids Cardinals visiting the Tornadoes today as we're getting ready for the Cardinals varsity beam. Looks like we'll have 4 competitors, athletes, gymnasts. That's the word, gymnasts. Today, looks like Nora Ross is our first on the beam.
Nora Ross is one of our all-around gymnasts tonight.
Now there's certain skills that they're going to be showing off on the beam, and each of those is assigned a point value, and that kind of adds up to the difficulty of the routine.
Correct, and there is also required skills that they have to do. So you will see all of them do a full turn on the beam. You will see all of them do some form of a split jump and some form of a jump combo, as well as some skill combo as well.
I don't know if I could do that on the flat ground, so it's definitely impressive.
Nice round off dismount off the beam.
Nora comes off the floor there.
It's always good to have your first starting athlete be a strong athlete on that event, and she pulled through, did very good with her routine. Should set the team up for success.
Kaylee Rombach is our second. Competitor this evening. Just waiting for the judges to finish up, I think, from Nora's routine. How much a beam is physical versus mental?
It's almost completely mental. Everything they're doing on the beam, they can do very easily on the floor. It just becomes a lot harder on 4 inches of wood. 4 inches of wood, 4 feet high.
Well, from the crowd, I'm hearing this is Nora.
Looks like their order changed a little bit on us. She's showing off some nice flexibility skills right now, very controlled.
Some
Did a
crowd
jump, wolf jump combo.
some crowd noise from both teams here.
Oh, and an aerial dismount. Awesome.
A little dismount there. From Nora Ross, and with the changed order, we may have to listen to the crowd for our cues on which gymnast is up next here. Unfortunately, we're only as good as the information we grabbed before we started. So.
I know Coon Rapids has a lot of newer athletes that are on their team this year.
Now for the judges, do they just have a checklist of those required skills, and do they know ahead of time what skills each athlete's going to be performing?
They know the required skills. They don't know what they are going to be performing, so as they go, they are jotting that down. Had some more flexibility being shown off.
There's that required turn that you mentioned earlier.
She did a cartwheel, cartwheel for her skill combo.
Another thing I can't do on the flat ground. Is the beam a timed event at all, or is it just?
It is, yep.
Okay.
They do have a time limit. And if they go over it, they do get points subtracted from their score.
Looks like she's going to do a back dismount here.
This back tuck dismount. It's like she might have touched the beam there at the end.
Now, the beam itself, do you refer to one end or the other as the left or right or north or south?
No.
Front or back of the beam?
Nope.
Is it just a matter of preference then? I noticed they
Yeah,
dismount
it is.
from one end or the other.
Yeah, it really just however they decide
how the
to build
routine
their
takes you?
routine. Yeah. Typically, the gymnasts do get to create their own beam routines, so it really is what their preference is. Looks like we might have a jump mount to start with.
Get the springboard there. This will be our fourth varsity athlete on the beam for the Cardinals. Our judges are just finishing their tallies from that previous routine. You can kind of see their table from the corner of our seats here. I believe that is the Anoka JV vaulting in the background there. Looks like a 5-7 and a 6-1 from that last routine.
You know, those are interesting scores. I wonder if she had too many skills in her routine. Which this is the first meet, so.
Trying the routine out in front of judges for the first time.
It's like we have Kylie on the beam right now. This Coon Rapids team has a lot of flexible athletes. So she did fall on the back walkover before she got her foot on the beam, so she won't get credit for that skill. However, the rest of the routine was very, very good. Stuck landing at the end.
That always helps. So that's going to do it for Coon Rapids varsity on the beam. We're going to stick on the same equipment here, and we'll have the Tornadoes varsity team on beam when we come back. And we are back. CTN's coverage of gymnastics. Getting ready for the Anoka Tornadoes on the beam. Looks like Kylie O'Mara will be starting us off. Another one of our all-around tornadoes.
I was watching her warm up. This should be a good one to watch. Did a cartwheel round off for her skill combo.
Clean routine so far for Kaylee.
Nice switch leap wolf jump. And a nice full twisting back tuck dismount.
You were right on that one. Good routine there to kick it off for the Tornadoes on the beam.
Absolutely, she was very clean in all of the skills she did. Made it look very easy.
Kaylee is followed by Kylie. Kylie Lauren up next. See if I can peep the scores from my vantage point here.
So it looks like Kylie might be a good example of a artistic gymnast. She's varsity for beam and floor tonight.
Right. Judges continue to tabulate. So as you're standing next to the beam waiting for the judges to finish their scoring from the previous gymnast, is that relaxing? Is it nervous?
It's very nerving. The longer they take, the more the nerves build.
Even though it has nothing to do with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Same thing, like the energy just carries. So if the first person falls or the person in front of you falls, you're going to be more nervous going into your vault than if the person before you did really good. Then you're like, awesome, great energy. And you go into it really well usually. It's kind of interesting.
That team energy plays through even though it's kind of an individual competition.
Absolutely. Yeah, gymnastics is an interesting sport that way, but it's kind of cool because you're always motivated to keep pushing yourself along with your teammates. One person does something and you're right behind with them. We did see a pretty big skill out of her. She did a scorpion up on the beam.
And again, first meet of the year, so people are trying out their routines for the first time.
Wow, nice big back tuck stuck on the beam. As well as a back walkover. Right into a twisting layout dismount.
Good recovery for her to finish off her routine strong there. I believe I saw an 8.5 and an 8.8 from Kaylee's routine. And this will be Mackenzie Rossum. We're actually back on track with our order of gymnasts. As far as that time goes for the routine, is that just kind of an internal timer you have for yourself?
Nope, the judges do keep track of it, and when your time goes up, they hold a flag up.
Okay.
So in theory, if you never looked, you might not know your time is up, but it's a big red flag. It usually catches your attention.
So as you plan your routine out, obviously you plan
Yep,
with a little cushion time in there in case you do have to fall and remount the bar.
absolutely. Typically, the maximum time is like a full minute longer than what the routine should be, so it should be enough time,
Okay.
but
Now, do you think the judges, in your experience, the judges ever just sat there and just kind of doodled a little bit, some extra time to make you more nervous before you went up there?
I don't think so.
Okay.
They're very busy.
Mackenzie Rossum here for the Tornadoes.
It's like an 8-1 for that last score. Did a switch leap, three-quarter wolf turn. Cartwheel round off for her skills. And a back tuck dismount. Very nice routine.
Nice, solid one from Mackenzie Rossum there. Alyssa Brendel, our next gymnast, approaching the beam there. How easy is it to roll your ankle on beam?
You know, it's not too bad. I feel like most of the injuries come just from falling off of
From
it as
falls.
opposed to weird
To a
landings.
twist or a bad
yeah.
landing? Obviously, a bad landing off the bars is going to be worse, right?
Right. It is still a pretty hard surface though, so like especially for skills, like if you're like actually flipping on the beam, you can land pretty hard and that impact can kind of hurt sometimes, but it's not usually too bad.
And like you said, that's essentially just a big 2x4 out there, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Wrapped in a layer of naga hide or suede there.
Like an 8-6 and an 8-4 for that last score.
Mackenzie gets an 8-5 overall there. Alyssa showing off her skills on the beam.
So far, a very polished routine. Just flying through it with ease.
And like you said, over the course of a season, that's only going to get better. So
Absolutely.
already being polished at the beginning of the season is always a nice place to start from.
Absolutely. And an aerial dismount, stuck landing.
Tornadoes putting up some good scores on the beam here today.
Absolutely. She should be very happy with that routine. It looks like her team is too.
And just like in the vault, Sydney West will be the anchor for this run. Do they use that term from relay races in gymnastics?
They do, and Sydney West is the anchor for all of the events tonight.
Oh, there you go.
She is also our only senior that is competing for varsity, and she was a varsity state competitor last year for all around as well.
So definitely some experience there for Sydney as she gets ready to round out the Anoka Tornadoes varsity time on the beam. Judges continuing to confer there. Looks like those scores are going to the cards now. Sydney West getting ready to start her routine.
It's like an 8-5 for that last routine. Back walkover for her skill series. She looks very comfortable up there on the beam. Huge switch leap straddle jump. Did an aerial, didn't quite land it, but probably the biggest skill we've seen so far on beam.
And again, first meet of the season.
And a round off full dismount.
So Sydney West's routine there as the Tornadoes anchor. On the beam, we'll wrap up our beam competition coverage. We get ready. Last event we have here in Gym 1 is going to be Coon Rapids Varsity on the vault. So we will bring you that when we come back. Back with CTN's gymnastic coverage, getting ready for the Cardinals varsity vaulters. I believe we have 5 of them. Again, if our information is correct, Nora Ross will be leading us off on the vault, and this will be our last event here in gym number 1. And we will do-si-do over to gym 2. You see that in gymnastics, right? Do-si-do, that gets used all the time. We don't cover a lot of square dancing, so I don't get a chance to use that. All right, looks like judges are ready, and we will have our first vault.
Didn't quite get over that first one, but she's got another attempt.
Judges are showing some scores there. We may have missed the first one. Yep, it looks like that was her second vault. So Kaylee O'Mara lining up for her first. The do you call it the runway? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
The runway goes out the door into the hallway, so I can't quite see who's standing there. This gym doesn't quite have the length it needs.
Yeah, so as well as the height of the vault and the distance of the board, the runway actually has a measurement all the way along it, and each gymnast has a certain point that they start at and typically count their steps, so it's the same for each vault. Had a nice half on, half off vault.
So that was the first vault from Kaylee O'Mara. It's like a 7-7 and a 7-8 on her first.
Another half on, half off. Pretty clean vault.
All right. Get some adjustments. So runway, springboard, and then is the thing you put your hands on actually called the vault?
It is, yes.
I'm learning so much today. They'll get me ready for the Olympics, right? Alyssa Brendel getting ready for her first.
Another half on, half off, almost stuck landing. Looks like we got a little team chant there.
Got to keep that good energy going forward, right?
Absolutely.
7-8 and an 8-0 on her first vault. Alyssa lands her second one there. And another of our all-arounders, Mackenzie Rossum, up next.
Another half on, half off vault.
Little convo with the coach there. With a small adjustment for her second one. And I see the teammates filming with an iPad there. How useful is it to be able to look at like what you're doing to correct form and things like that?
It's very useful being able to go back and look at it again after. They also do that for the judges, so if there's any discrepancies, they can look back and see what actually happened for a second time.
It's like 7-7, 7-9 on her first. Kenzie lands her second there as the judges pass their scores along. Seven, 8, 7-9. So Sydney West will close things out for us here in gym number 1.
Another half on, half off. And a very nice half on, half off vault. Nice pointed toes.
And as you said, the vault is a quick event. We're already through all 5 of our Cardinals varsity vaulters. We'll get those scores from the judges here as we get ready to move over to gym 2. Looks like an 8-3 from both judges on Sydney West's final vault. That'll close things out for us here in gym number 1, as we will rejoin you in gym 2 here on CTN. Welcome to Gym 2 here. Next set of rotations at Sandburg Education Center. We're going to be seeing the Cardinals on the floor exercise to start off here. And I've got my my information correct now. We have the right sheets with the right names. Had things mislabeled, so my apologies for misidentifying people.
Nice front tuck, forward roll, cartwheel.
Got Macy English out there doing her floor routine.
She's got great facial expressions in her routine. Can tell she loves performing.
You pick your own music, right?
Absolutely. And a lot of them do create a lot of their routine too. Really just makes floor a really fun event for everyone. Get to see a little bit of their personalities. A switch leap, full twisting tuck. Front handspring, forward roll, cartwheel.
And same as beam, required skills as well as choice mixed in there. You have required skills that you have to do,
Yep,
as well as
they
the
do
ones
still
you
have
choose.
their required skills. Again, with the difficulty, they'll have their choice between however many of each difficulty for skill that they get to choose from.
So that was Macy English. Nora Ross up next for the Cardinals.
The one fun thing about gymnastics is the rules actually change every 4 years. So what one skill is leveled 1 year could be completely different the next year, and the gymnast would have to adjust the routine to match that.
Unless your timing lines up perfectly. And you
Right.
get the rule set for all 4 years,
Exactly.
right? Nora Ross, another one of the all-arounders for Coon Rapids. I'm more nervous waiting for beam or floor?
Definitely beam. Floor is just such an exciting event. You do get nervous for it, but it's so much fun that...
More of a nervous energy.
Right, once you
rather
get
than-
going, you forget all about it.
The judges are finishing up tabulating those scores, and it looks like they're ready at the table.
It's like one judge gave a 6-3 for that last routine, and a 6-0 from the other.
We'll see what Nora Ross has for us here on the floor.
Round off, back walk over, back walk over. It's got some good energy going. Front handspring, forward roll, cartwheel, very clean. Front handspring, forward roll, front walk over. I think every pass she did in there was a stuck landing.
Pretty good run from Nora Ross there. And we will have bars here in the same gym coming up next. Judge is hard at work at the table there. Hear that crowd noise from the bar routine. Anoka JV over there at the moment. Callie Rombach steps onto the floor for the Cardinals.
Looks like we had a 6'5" and a 6'4" for that last routine. Round off, double back handspring back tuck for her first pass. She's really hitting each dance move. Front tuck, forward roll cartwheel for her second pass. And that was actually a pretty difficult turn that she just did. Round off, double back handspring. And that was a great routine.
Our third floor from the Cardinals. Coon Rapids Varsity has their all-rounders on the floor in the 2, 3, and 4 spots.
I think our order is out of order again. I think this is Angel on the floor. It was a huge first pass. That was our first twist that we saw on the floor today. Round off, double back handspring.
Definitely a lot more personality here than you see in the vault, right?
Absolutely. She seemed very into her routine, very cool.
Angel Marshall there for the Cardinals. I think our JV bars are done behind us. So. All right, looks like just the 4 for us on the floor. Trying to get some info on what's happening here. I think we're gonna get ready to do some rotation here, so we're gonna send you off to a commercial break, and we will be back with bars. Welcome back to CTN's gymnastic coverage. First meet of the year. We have the Tornadoes varsity team on bars. Emily Rice leading off. And the bars was one of your favorites, correct?
Yes, it was. Bars was a fun one for me. It's a nice flowy event. Everything just goes together so well. Have a couple of kips up here on the high bar. And a back tuck dismount.
Kaylee O'Mara stepping in here as we await those judges' scores from Emily's routine.
And Kaylee is the new member of the team. Very strong new addition.
She'll also be leading off the floor for them to round out the meet. Fun part about bars is you get the background music from the floor routines.
Yeah. It's nice when you have a little rhythm to go to.
Hopefully it's not counter to your own rhythm for your...
It's like we got a 6.8 and a 7.01 for that last routine.
Emily scoring in the high sixes there. Kaylee on the high bar now. High bar, low bar, is that the
Yep.
terminology? I'm old enough to remember when it was parallel bars. So.
And now that was a nice layout dismount, stuck landing. Yeah, a lot of the apparatuses in gymnastics have changed quite a bit over the years. The bars used to be a lot closer together. The vault used to be a lot smaller, so there have been some changes made.
A lot of them safety related, which
Absolutely.
is definitely a good thing, right?
Yep.
You don't have to land on a pile of burlap sacks anymore.
Right.
And the bars are obviously parallel to the floor, but slightly angled away from each other.
Yep. And those, that can be adjusted as well, how high and low either bar are and their distance apart. And that does get adjusted for the gymnasts too. A lot of times teams will have like 1 or 2 heights though, and gymnasts will be 1 or 2 of those.
So Mackenzie Rossum getting ready to go here. I'd assume the height of the gymnast plays into that a little bit. Right?
Absolutely. Got 2 kips down on the low bar, on the high bar now. And another stuck landing, back tuck dismount.
Great landing there from Mackenzie. Our third here on the bars for the Tornadoes. Kirsten Bailey up next.
I think this is our first time seeing her tonight for varsity. The kip, switch kip on the low bar. Like 7-3 and 7-4 for that last routine. It's a very clean routine we're seeing right now. And a third stuck dismount in a row. Another back tuck.
Yeah, real clean routine from Kristen Bailey. Looks like she is a bars specialist for this first meet at least. A lot of chalk and talc powder all over your car after a gymnastics meet.
Oh, maybe a little. Definitely the chalk does get everywhere though if you're in the gym.
Well, just from where we're sitting, I can see that the mat is almost looks like the ocean there with the white crested waves.
Yeah, the chalk really helps too with being sweaty and your hand sticking. It just helps you flow a little bit better.
Definitely don't want your skin sticking to a bar that you're spinning around, that's for sure.
Another common thing that does happen on the bars is your hands get ripped open from the constant rotation, and then you have these big holes in your hands, and
which
you
only
gotta
get worse.
Right, and then you gotta keep trying to do what you're still doing.
Can't really do it with gloves on.
No.
Some big bulky winter gloves up there. Sydney West getting on the bars now. 8.5 and a 7.9.
Big release move we just saw from low to high bar. Looks like we might see another one. Oh, just a half pirouette. And a layout dismount.
Good solid routines all across all 5 participants on the bars for Tornadoes. And we will see how Coon Rapids Varsity stacks up on bars next when we come back here on CTN. Back for more gymnastics here. Varsity bars for the girls. So Delilah Smith-Jeanette, our first competitor for the Cardinals.
And I do believe this is our first time seeing her on varsity tonight. Very clean routine, stuck landing.
Nora Ross up next for us. The sheer variety of music from floor all over the spectrum there in the background for us.
Yep.
And judges are just finishing up and relaying their scores right now. And Nora Ross
Looked pretty excited to start. 2 back hip circles. Looks like she stayed on the low bar for that routine.
I don't even know if I could get onto the low bar, to be honest with you. So, not just because I'm only 3 feet tall, but I have no upper body strength. Callie Rombach on deck for us here. Bars for the Cardinal varsity gymnastics team.
And bars is a lot of wrist strength as well. That's basically everything you're doing comes from your wrists. I think we had a 3.5 and a 4 for that last routine. And squat onto high bar. And a back tuck dismount.
Looks like they're getting the springboard out there for Callie Barker. She eyes it up to make sure it's where she wants it.
Always very important.
Generally good at double check, right?
They don't have the tape measure out on bars like they do for vault, so it really is just eyeing it and seeing what looks the best.
I'm seeing a 5-1 on the table there.
And a 4-9 from the other judge. Should have big
Callie
hip
Barker.
back hip circle.
And Barker on the bars now.
And another back tuck dismount.
And Angel Marshall will wrap things up for us here on the bars for the varsity team. 5-8 from the first judge and 6-2 from the other. Angel Marshall, our last look at the Coon Rapids varsity team here tonight.
Nice cast to handstand, back hip circle. And a flyaway back tuck dismount, stuck landing.
Great skills from Angel there on the bars. Good routine to wrap that one up for us. We'll stick around for a second, see if we can get her scores. But that was our last event in the rotations for the varsity team for Coon Rapids. We've still got a look at the Tornadoes on the floor to round out the meet here. Stick around for those scores. The judges are finishing that up for you here. Get a look at some of the Tornadoes JV floor here. Have you ever thought about getting into judging?
It's actually really hard to become a judge for gymnastics. It has crossed my mind before. But it actually takes quite a bit to become one.
Well, in most of the other sports, you just need to be blind to be a ref. So I'm just kidding. It's a little sports humor there. We'll see if we can get those scores here. Maybe we hung around for nothing. I don't know if they're going to show those off or not. They might still be conferring there. There we go. We got a 6-0 from first judge. It looks like a 6-3 from the other one. So 6-0 and 6-3 for Angel Marshall. That wraps up our Cardinals varsity coverage. We got one rotation left here, and that will be the Tornadoes varsity floor. We will be right back with that here on CTN. Welcome back once again to Sandburg Education Center. Coon Rapids Cardinals visiting the Anoka Tornadoes Gymnastics meet first of the year. And we will wrap up our coverage today with floor from Anoka Tornadoes. Kaylee O'Mara leading things off.
The nice round off 1.5 twist. Full twist. Front tuck, forward roll, cartwheel, stuck landing.
Nice opening routine there for the Tornadoes from Kaylee. Mackenzie Rossum up next.
Mackenzie's done very well all night. This should be a good routine to watch.
One of those three all-rounders for the Tornadoes. The judges are just finishing tabulating of those scores. Kenzie Rossum out on the floor for her routine. Looks like we've got a previous routine scored an 8-2 and a 7-9.
Round off full. Front tuck, step out, round off, back tuck. It's a very good series to do.
Yeah, nice sequence there.
Everything she's done so far has been very clean. Front tuck, forward roll, cartwheel, stuck landing.
Real solid run there.
Absolutely, very good routine.
We see the extra mat coming out onto the floor. What would that be for?
When I was watching her warm up, it looks like it's for her forward pass. They typically do that on either newer skills, or if they're injured, they'll do it just to a little bit of extra security.
And is that just going to be there for that first pass and then gets pulled off the floor, or is that staying there?
Most likely it'll get pulled off the floor. Unless it's out of the way for the routine, then they might leave it.
Kylie Lauren lining up and getting ready to go here.
handspring, 1.5 twist. She's doing a very good job of hitting all her dance skills very sharply. Round off back handspring, double twist. Front tuck, round off, back flip. It's a very solid routine. She should have a pretty good score from that.
Yeah, looks like the Anoka team's got some great competitors on the floor here.
Absolutely.
Alyssa Brendel waiting on the floor there for the judges to be ready to start her routine. Final rotation for tonight. Alyssa Brendel starting off here as we see Kylie's scores. A 9.05 and a 9.1.
Very good score. I think that might be the highest floor routine score we've seen tonight. Round off full twist to start her pass off. Twisting switch leap and a twisting wolf jump. Front tuck, round off, back tuck. Round off, 2 back handsprings into a back tuck.
Another solid run for the Tornadoes on the floor.
Absolutely.
Just leaving a path of destruction like a real tornado.
And we have our anchor, Sydney West, next.
At this point, most of the other rotations have ended, and everybody's kind of filtering into this gym to watch the last floor routine of the night.
You do see tiger palms on her wrist. That is to help with the impact.
Are those different than the ones you use on the bars?
They are very different. So those ones have a big plastic plate right on top, so it kind of takes away some of that pressure from hitting the ground so hard.
Alyssa with a 9 and an 8.75. Sydney West for the Tornadoes.
Round off back handspring, 1.5 twist. Anytime you're landing forward, it's always harder to land because it's a blind landing. duck landing. Big switch leap straddle jump. Round off by handspring full twist. And that was a great way to end the night.
Another high-scoring routine there from the Tornadoes on the floor. So I think we'll stick around to see what her final tally was. So overall, what were your impressions from this first meet?
I think it was a great first meet. I think Anoka had some really strong competitors, and I think Coon Rapids did really good too. They both had about the same amount of people on their varsity team, so I feel like it was a really good meet to watch.
Yeah, just looking at the rosters too, lots of JV coming up there, lots of young athletes for the Cardinals as they go forward into the season here. Let's see if we can get those scores before we sign off for the night.
It sounded like there is possibly one more varsity athlete for Coon Rapids in the making right now. That might come out this season sometime.
And we are going to see a 9-0, and I can't quite see the other one, 9-2. So I think with the average there of a 9-1, that might be our highest scoring of the night.
I think so. Great way to end it.
What a note to go out on. But if you want the full recap, including team scores, make sure to check out Sports Night Monday night on CTN. Joe and Howie will bring you the highlights from all the other Coon Rapids action. That's going to do it for us tonight. We appreciate you joining us. Have a great night.